Hello, everybody. Welcome back to DND404. I am your DM, Tony. And joined with me today are the other greatest nostalgic gaming soundtracks in my library. Fellas, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself with the charming, sensual, goosebump, Phil Jared.
What's going on, guys? Armos checking in. I gotta say, my what is it called?
Soundtrack. Your favorite soundtrack
of choice is Chrono Trigger. I was too enamored with it. I was just listening to it. I was like, oh, I was gonna name a specific track, but the whole thing's great. If you want to,
it is super good.
You can go on Spotify to check it out right after this episode and give it a listen. I gotta
How
say,
How many bits?
How many bits?
Is the Chrono Trigger soundtrack? Is it 16 or 32-bit?
Like tracks? 78.
I heard it go over his head.
Super Nintendo? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
I don't understand. Anyways, Dan, it's over to you.
Hey guys, my name is Dan. I play Minnis PebbleWalker, your tiny little swarm keeper ranger. And Tony's gonna hate my soundtrack because my most nostalgic soundtrack of all time is gotta be Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening. That is some of the best rock metal, like hard rock metal music ever. My favorite song on there is called, the translations are kind of weird in English, but it's called Motion Capture Movie, I think is the title of the song. Go listen to that track. The screaming, the metal music, the guitar, I'm a sucker for anything that has angelic opera music in the background. So that whole soundtrack, nothing gets my blood pumping like that. What about you, Alec?
I can respect that. I can respect that. Music that tells a story.
Yeah.
Fully respect
exactly.
that. Yeah. Bad game though, but fully.
You haven't even played it.
I played the best one, and I feel like I don't need to downgrade myself.
One of these days. Alec, how you doing over there?
I am hanging in there. My name is Alec. I play Drell the Ashborn, and my favorite gaming soundtrack, honestly, Halo.
Yeah.
I really like
So
Halo's
good.
music, you know, dun-dun-dun-dun,
Oh, someone's a
dun-dun-dun, as
breaking
you're like
Benjamin's fan. That's why.
coming over the hill in your Warhog, dude. Nothing better, dude.
We got to pick the game though. Which Halo? Halo 2?
Oof, Halo 2. I'm a
Yeah,
big Halo
the
2
one with
guy.
breaking Benjamins, dude.
Yeah.
I'm a big Halo 2 guy. So
Same.
Sing the song, man. Sing the song. Sing the Breaking Benjamin song.
yeah. Maybe on the Patreon. What about you, Tony?
Yo, the gaming soundtrack that has my fucking life in a vice. I cursed. Dang it. Biscuits. I cursed.
Add it to the counter.
Dang nabbit.
Didn't take long, did it?
Nope. Is Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Yes.
I was listening to it this morning. Spotify put it in my shuffle, and I was singing like nobody was watching. And I looked over, and there was somebody indeed watching. I was white knuckling that steering wheel.
In the after show, we got to go with our backup. We all got to share our backup.
Backups.
Give him the rundown, Tony.
All right, you know the deal. Before we roll around at the speed of sound on this D4, we're going to do the rundown. And today's rundown is brought to you by me. And, you know, listen, are you on Spotify? Do you just love listening to DND404 content? But you know what? It's the new episode drops, and you're just in an area with no service. Well, let me tell you something. Did you know that you can pre-download our episodes as they drop? So you're never a moment without DND404. That's right. Spotify has a pre-download option. Probably every single app does, but we're talking about Spotify because in addition to pre-downloading, you can now enjoy the episode and go ahead and check out some of the comments and polls below the episode. That's right. We are making it more engaging than ever to be a Spotify user. Not to shame other users, of course. There are other good podcasting platforms, like Good Pods. It's in the name. All right, now you know the deal. We're going to go ahead and roll for the recap. Where I roll a giant rubber foam D4. Well, dunk a giant rubber foam D4. Where I, number 1, 2 is Alec, 3 is Dan, 4 is Jared. How would you guys like me to dunk it today?
Just go like from under the hoop, throw it up through the hoop from under it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I follow.
It's like you're reverse scoring.
Yeah, reverse scoring.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. That was really good. Who we got? that PAX?
That looks like it says PAX.
Why did we ever do this?
It is 4.
Don't worry, Jared. Next season, we're changing it. So it's just, we switch it off.
No, we're not.
I think we should. I was driving today about 10 minutes before this, and I was like, you know what? Why do we do it this way?
Well, we do it this way because it's weighted against Tony's side because the die's all chewed up. He rarely ever gets picked, and he knows it.
It's not true.
That is very true. Look at
Honestly,
the amount of times
Dan,
you've been picked. Minimal.
Where's the Excel document that shows
Yeah,
how
where's
many
the
times?
Excel document? Where's the data?
That shows how many times we've been
Where's the
picked.
data?
Take that for data.
That's 9 for Tony.
I've done more than 9. It's been 126 episodes. Bro.
22 for me.
And I did all of them up until episode 30. How you gonna?
And honestly, the podcast was better when you did it that way.
Yeah, we're switching back to that model next season.
No.
Yeah.
To be honest.
You know what? You know what? Let's
You
just
guys get
let's
no
just
pop
get
filter this whole session, and there's a lot of peas. I'm gonna say.
replay the old hits. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just get Tony to do this one real quick. You know?
Yep. See, Tony weighted against my side because he hates me. I'm at like 22. And then it's like Alec and Jared at 14, 13. And then Tony's at 9.
See what we're talking about?
But I did the first 35. When did we start that?
We started that at episode 55.
55? That's and 55 onto my counter. What are you talking about, dog?
I don't think it counts though.
All right, we got to get rolling.
Anyways.
So, Jared, how about you give us that recap?
The team takes a closer look at the city's layout, focusing on key areas in the military ward and city square, prime spots for prisoner transports and major threats to their plans. As they strategize and debate spell choices, whether to capture or eliminate an enemy, and even consider using the ethereal plane as an escape route. After an eerie night of unsettling dreams, they wake up with new abilities and a fresh game plan. Sneaking through demon-infested cities isn't easy, and things heat up fast as they encounter cultists, demonic beasts, and even looming presence of a living tower. As tensions rise, they're faced with a tough choice: rescue the prisoners or stay undetected. The episode ends with an ominous showdown looming as a massive metal construct stands in their way. And with that being said, Bard, play that intro.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the world of Humbrea, featuring 3 first-time adventurers and 1 very patient DM. This is DND404. Fellas, boyos, welcome to episode 127. We pick up in the middle of Red City, where the 3 of you, companioned with Sly, are hugging the side of a cliff of a plateau where the military ward is located. In front of you, between the city square and the road leading to the military ward, are 2 caravans. Cultists are dragging prisoner carts by chains towards the military ward. The carts themselves are bloody. There's dry blood on the bars, the roofs, and the old rusted iron wheels. From your western side, as you were about to make a move on these caged carts to try to free the prisoners, or at least thinking about it, a massive siege-like vehicle came rolling in with thunderous sounds, with its large metal cog-like wheels, illuminated the area with its giant green flame. It looks, quite frankly, like a massive tank with a giant green flamed brazier on top of it. What are the 3 of you doing?
Do we notice any, like, we heard that there was a hierarchy to these cultists. Do we notice, like, a lead cultist?
A lot of these cultists that you've been facing were not able to speak. It, like, they all had like a glyph of silence of some kind casted onto them, but they could not make any sounds other than painful grunts or just motions of movement. Those cultists seem to be using daggers and swords and such. The ones that were able to make any type of decision making or were able to speak were the ones with spell casting abilities. From far away, you couldn't really tell, but go ahead and make me a perception check as you try to look at the cultists in front of you to see if any of them really differ from one another.
That's gonna be a 21.
So you look at the cultists all pulling the prisoner carts. All the cultists are wearing matching robes. Along the sides of the robes, you see these crooked Chris-like daggers. On the back caravan, there are 5 of these green flamed soldiers. None of these cultists look different from one another. If any of these were leaders of some kind or showing any type of hierarchy, they would probably be in the front or giving commands, but definitely not pulling this thing. You take a couple of steps to your right and you look around and you do notice that there is cultists on top of this watchtower to your west. So on the plateau that is above you, and you get the sense that there are people overlooking. If anyone's giving commands, they're most likely in there.
Sly, where's the nearest sewer entrance, by the way, before we get into action here?
Stratham doesn't have a very elaborate sewer system within itself. If there are any sewers, it would probably be up on the plateau in the military ward that would drain down. The next sewer system that I could think of, or at least like a sewer cap to try to move around the city, would probably be in the living quarters to our south. And he points in the direction where the two demons were fighting. In your last session, there were two demons like beating against each other. And there's like a living tower right next to them. And he kind of points to you that you would need to like go through like either the town square towards the main entrance or head south to try to go under an underpass where there's another living quarter.
Oh, how are you feeling, Drell? I feel like I was feeling pretty good until I saw that weird structure.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. A cart? A giant metal cart?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that before.
As you watch this giant vehicle roll slowly, like metal grinding on dirt, you see the indents of the tracks that it's leaving behind it, just showing how massively heavy this thing is.
Where is the tower again? It's the one within, it's to the north of us?
The living tower, yes, it's northeast. You see this giant, eldritch-like tentacle towering 300 feet above you.
I really don't want that thing, and I point to the tower, to have the effect the other one did, especially on Armos.
Right.
Yeah, that was not fun. As I'm like bandaging my arm still.
But how you feeling now? You good? You want to run it back?
Oh, you got a ice shard on your shoulder, Armos.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, fuck.
What if there's a way to distract the tower?
I'm listening.
Reginald chimes in.
It's like, I've seen these things before. They're kind of common around the Ruby Castle that Armos has seen several times over in his visions. It's just an extension of a larger beast nearby. They kind of act on their own accord, however, albeit they are able to communicate with one another. But maybe we could find a way to distract them, like bright lights or something.
Bright lights.
Or give it something strong to focus on, while like something that's fast. Almost, you think you could summon something to kind of like run around in a circle and just have it hit? I mean, it hits hard, it hits heavy, but you know, it is lumbering.
I mean, if you summon something, I could summon another thing, and maybe we could keep him distracted a little bit.
Yeah, I could summon something too. And I pull out my bag of beans. No.
I mean, that could be a distraction.
You're not in combat. I don't know what type of distraction. It's definitely a distraction.
Drell writes, for no reason, Alamo on the bag of beans and puts it back in his bag.
Honestly,
I could go bury it in the town center real quick. I'm sneaky.
I'm kind of down for the beans. I'm not gonna lie. If there's a time that we need a distraction, I'm kind of down for the beans. I'm like,
I wasn't thinking about it, but all of a sudden, Drell's got me on the bean train.
yeah, I'm kind of on it. Like we're kind of near, like we're coming close to the end here, right? We've had those beans for a while as a looming thing that could happen.
We don't really know what the fuck these things can do, right? So this is like,
yeah, but
we got to make sure this is the right choice.
But I mean, worst case scenario, it's not our problem. Best case scenario, it's not our problem.
I feel like it is going to be our problem, but
These guys are going to be passing us in a second here, so that's another thing.
all right. I mean, if you guys want, I'm down.
Well,
we
hold
can
on.
do it.
Let's weigh some of our options. So we got the beans. It's on top of my list.
We got to plan them, though.
We got,
Someone's got to plan it somewhere.
yeah.
Mhm.
We got we can easily summon some stuff, you know, have them run around, you know, that old trick.
All right.
We could throw Reginald at it, and
Armos.
then, what?
You make me invisible. I'll sneak in front of them, plant a bean right in front of the gate. I'll plant a couple beans. We'll just see what happens.
I was down for one bean. Hold on.
I think we just need 1 Minnis.
Oh, okay, just one.
Yeah.
Oh.
But what if it gives them like another tree and they're just eating healthy fruit?
I mean,
We got to roll the odds.
what if they all become tentacles though? Then that's a whole nother thing.
The prisoner caravans, the caged carts, continue to move.
If I do it, I say we do 3 beans. Otherwise, we distract them with summoned creatures, because I can summon a beast and like do a flying beast.
All right. I mean, 3 beans it is then.
I'm sorry, what? How are beans going to help us?
Shh.
Fly chimes in.
Drell just puts his finger over his lips and goes, shh. It'll all be explained here shortly.
I put my finger on Minnis at the same time, and he goes invisible.
Whoosh.
Okay. I have means of escape. I hope the 3 of you do if things go south. They have a siege engine, just so you know. And he gestures to the giant looming tank that's illuminating with green flame, like a green tower like flame.
Don't worry about that. I'll take care of that. And I kind of
Good,
like jokingly
good.
brush it off just to see what his reaction would be.
He just blink, blink. He's like, okay, I'm interested.
All right, so I take 3 beans and I'm going to try and rush and sneak over to the front entrance and bury them and plant them.
Minnis, you are now invisible as Armos casts invisibility over you. You now have passed without trace. You have extreme buffs. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check with advantage as you sneak past these dread soldiers and cultists.
40.
You successfully make it past them. As you advance towards the front gate, you see a lot of blood leading up a trail. So this pathway, the plateau itself valleys inward, where a ramp descends downward. So there's a ramp leading up to the plateau where there's this large gatehouse. Past the gatehouse, you see on either side of you 2 watchtowers that are symmetrical, that are overlooking the area from where you are entering in. You do see movement up there, but the windows are so small that you can't see defined characteristics of anybody in them, but you can assume they may be more of these metal soldiers or cultists. Beyond the gate that you can see, you see these large metal fortified buildings that look like storehouses, like storage houses or something of that size. Hangars, if you will.
I just want to get to like the main blood spot in front of the gate, and as quick as I can, I just do 3 little scoops of dirt, and I use I just use the blood, as gross as that is. I use the blood as like water when I cover the beans, and then I'm immediately gonna start heading back after I do that.
As soon as Armos sees the blood, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this was a bad idea.
Minnis, you take 3 beans and you go towards the entrance of the military ward. No further than 30 feet from the ramp leading onto the military ward plateau, you bury 3 beans about 5 feet apart from each other. You take some water from your canteen and you just give it a little bit of a
Don't
quencher.
reflavor my flavor. What are you doing?
For the magic item to work, you need to use water.
Yeah, there's water in the blood.
No, don't. It's coagulated, bro. That's not how that works.
It could be fresh.
It's
You're just
not.
saying it's coagulated right
You're
now.
trying to be Hakuto.
Right?
Yes, and Tony. Yes, and.
Good DMs say no. That's the hill I'm dying. You take 3 beans. No further than 30 feet from the ramp leading into the military ward, you plant 3 beans 5 feet apart from one another to give them space to grow. Where are you going after you plant these beans hastily?
Well, I'm going back to the gang.
Going back to the gang.
Me and my gang will.
Go ahead and make me another stealth check
Yeah.
as you plant these beans.
It should take me about 15 seconds to get back to these guys. Nat 20.
Ooh. On the table, you will see 3 spots where I've put the beans, where you have planted them. Minnis, or since there's 3, each of you roll this. Each of you roll me a D100, and let's go in order.
Drell rolled a 32.
I rolled a 59.
A 9.
What does that mean? We got a good range, I think. I want to look it up so bad, but I'm just going to wait.
Armos, real quick, roll me a D8.
Oh, fuck.
A 9. Oh, wait, no, it's a 6. It was upside down.
Okay. Very cool. All right.
All right, before anything goes off, I would want to talk to the guys and just get them ready, you know?
Okay.
Wait, what?
Because we've got like maybe 45 seconds. So when I get back, I go uninvisible and I go, okay, guys, we got about 40 seconds or something. Everybody ready to go?
Not yet. Hang on. And I touch my forehead and I go invisible now.
Yeah. All right, you got the tank. I'll try and go after some of the ones in the back. Maybe Drell, you want to focus on the ones in the front?
I'm gonna be honest. I think you guys need to just worry about saving the people because things are about to get real dark real soon.
Okay.
I don't even know if I have this asset. Hold on.
And
Tell me it's the Mario from Super Mario Brothers 1 beanstalk like looking thing.
I'm so excited for this. This is for the fans.
You know what? If you're a longtime listener and you're just now getting this payoff, you're welcome. There's no other time where I was like, oh, there's gonna be a time that will come into play. Never once. This is the best time to do it. I don't know what's about to happen, and I might be eating those words, or I might be eating beautiful fruit off of this beanstalk.
So we're going to the first bean with a 32. You see the ground begins to mold and erupt as the ground begins to grow, and then logs come up in a cone and then fall outward, forming a circle, almost like a campfire. Then a massive blue flame erupts, and a blue campfire now lingers in the center of the pathway. It is an average size of a campfire. It is blue.
Whose role was that?
32.
It was mine.
And it's just blue. Okay.
A few more seconds pass, and the ground begins to erupt. It begins to grow, and you see some bumps in the dirt. Little tiny bumps. 1, 2, 3. These little things trying to erupt from the ground. As that's happening, you see that the cultists have stopped moving, have moved a couple of feet towards the ward, but are now halted to stop as the ground all around within a 30-foot radius of that initial spot begins to react in some way. The cultists look at each other, and the first 4 cultists wander over to investigate. And then boing, flip, flop, hop, bang, boom, throom, croaks, frogs. There are 12 tiny pink frogs that burst out of the ground.
Oh my goodness.
Frogs?
Frogs, tiny pink frogs. Ribbit, 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 ribbit.
Chaos.
Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Blop, blop. They're flopped on the side. They're on their side. They're on their backs. They're landing on top of each other. They're blinking one eye at a time. It is very confusing. They are luminescent pink. They are shining. And the cultists begin to look at each other very weirdly. Then the third beam goes off. Another hole begins to erupt. And then a geyser appears. This dark purple red liquid spews 45 feet into the sky. It is 20 feet in diameter, and it is shooting out wine. It is a geyser of wine.
Oh my god.
It is forceful, it is thick and luscious, and it is forever spewing.
Oh, the people at the hideout are gonna be so pissed.
Sly looks over and goes, so it definitely stopped them. I'll give you that.
Okay, go.
2 more cultists come over, and now you see them draw weapons. Something is oddly amiss. One of the cultists look at the tower, looking for confirmation, and then nods towards the tower, and then looks back at one of these frogs and tries to slash it. As the dagger makes contact with one of these frogs, it gets 4 times the size. It now becomes a huge creature. It just becomes massive. This one frog, as it touches it, the dagger leaving it virtually useless against it. And all the cultists now look at each other, and this frog is just looking around and blinks one eye at a time and is looking at the cultists.
Okay, wait, we still might be in this.
We got a distraction. I was more looking for like something else. But hey, I'm sitting there waiting and I'm kind of looking at the other 2 guys on my left and my right.
As the 2 of you are looking on, 2 of the iron soldiers from the caravan in the back nod in agreement towards the tower and begin to head eastward as they're trying to take post towards the town square where they came from. It looks like they are now on high alert and they are looking around.
All right, let's take care of these guys.
Shit.
Yeah, Jared wanted to act first, I believe.
All right. I think I'm going to. So I won't be able to do anything with the back half of the guys. I can do all of them, but the problem is that there's the prisoners. So I either need you guys to go in and save the prisoners, and then I do this, or
I think you should just do something else then, because we're not going to be able to do that. We can't just go in and save the prisoners after you do. Just do something, and then we can get started.
that's what I'm saying. I'll just do this over here,
Mhm.
and then I am going to use Maddening Darkness
There it
on
is.
the front half of all of the siege engine that's up there and all of the guards that are on the front side towards the frogs of the caravan, but leaving just enough that the prisoners are not within the darkness.
Armos, you cast Maddening Darkness, covering all of the cultists that are investigating the pink frogs and the geyser of wine, and including this massive green-fired siege engine. And the Maddening Darkness just barely reaches to the front of the cage cart, leaving the prisoners safe from your darkness spell. All the cultists are going to make their saving throws. I'm going to have everybody roll initiative as the darkness is casted and everything outside of it is now drawing weapons.
15 for Minnis.
It's an 18 for Drell.
13 for Armos.
Armos, your spell goes off starting the combat. All of these cultists fail their wisdom saving throw as the Maddening Darkness shrieks and horrified demonic laughter reverberates inside their already corrupt mind. How much psychic damage are they taking?
39.
Ooh, you feel all of them drop to the floor. You have effectively killed 12 cultists. They all drop to the floor. You feel the presence of the frogs within the spell. However, there is no effect. You hear the ribbits croaking, but the ribbits look like they're croaking on reverb, as if the darkness might be having a weird effect to them. The engine is going to make a wisdom saving throw,
Engine's got wisdom.
possibly, and then we're gonna go ahead to the top of the round on initiative 18, which is Drell and these iron soldiers.
Oh,
All the ones in the darkness are dead, right?
Armos knows they're dead, but yes.
Okay.
All the people in the darkness are dead except for the big baddie.
There we go.
Careful of the frogs. Don't step on the frogs. I think they're still there. Hang on. I'm absorbing their life essence right now. Oh, it feels great.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run for the group of soldiers that are guarding the second caravan, so the closer one to us. And I'm gonna make my way for, honestly, probably just the guard right in front of me. I'm gonna move 30 feet to the north towards the closest caravan, and I'm gonna pull out my dwarven hammer, and I'm gonna throw the hammer at the closest guard to me.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
Yeah.
As you now make your position known, and Sly goes, all right, here we go.
I turn to Sly and I say, "Welcome to the danger zone." And I throw my hammer, not even looking. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm looking. It's a 32 to hit.
A 32 hits. Damn.
Nice. That is a 31 to hit.
31 hits.
And that's a nat 20.
oh baby.
That 20 hits.
All
Starting
right.
off right.
That is 67 damage.
67 damage total as you're chucking this hammer at it and you are denting its armor. However, it still stands, but with every hit your hammer landed onto it, you see its eyes. It's the green fiery eyes that remind you of Dread, the first one you've ever seen of these. You're starting to remember him. You're starting to remember the Dread as the green fire underneath the underneath the visor erupts with each hit.
Okay. And then, so what I would also like to do is make that last one a distracting strike. So pretty much just the next attack on it has advantage if the attack is made before the start of your next turn. So there's nothing to roll. It's just automatic. And then it's 7 additional damage.
Making yourself known to the soldier, it is going to go as it's also on initiative 18. And you see the one that you attacked charges at you as if it didn't even realize it was hit. It's going to go ahead and move 30 feet and get in front of you and is going to make a series of attacks. You see it pulls out a greatsword. Greatsword's Will, it's going to make 2 attacks against you. That is a 22 to miss and a nat 20. You're going to be taking 42 points of slashing damage here as he comes over with his greatsword. That's the nat 20.
Okay.
44 points of slashing damage. You see that the other dread creatures are going to make their way towards you as they now are alerted to your situation.
Cool. I will also do a reaction to hit him, riposte the attack he missed.
Sure, go ahead.
Be like, oh, you thought this was over?
That is 28 to hit.
28 hits.
Nice. 22 more damage.
You hit him with the hammer and he goes down as you see the fire within the armor erupts.
Night.
The green fire elemental, the Felemental, dies.
I look at the next one and I say, you're next.
We're going to move to the next one. It's going to go ahead and move up 30 feet and is going to make a ranged attack against you with a longbow.
Oh, shit.
You see as he takes 2 of the arrows, they light with a green fire. 2 arrows, a 19 to miss and a 25 to hit.
25 will hit, yeah.
The 25 is going to do 14 points of fire damage.
Was that with disadvantage?
That wasn't with disadvantage. That was something the real game with disadvantage.
I gotta make myself a sticky note, yeah. Was that nat 20 with disadvantage? No, I'm just kidding.
He still hits because you got a 28 and a 25 to hit on that second attack. So that's going to hit with 14 points of fire damage from those arrows. The 2 soldiers in the back are also going to move up 30 feet, and they're also going to be making ranged attacks against you as they take out bows. Okay, you get hit with one with a 27. That's the low roll. 22 misses. So you get hit with another fire arrow. That's going to be 15 points of fire damage. And then the third one is going to shoot at you with a 22 to miss. And with the second attack, 29 and 32. Yeah, so 29 is going to hit with another fire arrow, doing 15 points of fire damage. The last dread is going to take position with his greatsword and move and put himself in between the plateau and the cultists, and we're gonna go ahead and move to initiative 15. Minnis.
All right, Sly, you better keep up. As I turn into a tree.
You go ahead and you cast Guardian Nature, and Sly just looks up. Goes, oh wow.
All right. Now everything in 15 feet radius around me is considered difficult terrain for my enemies. Fun fact. And I'm going to start shooting sling bullets at the northwestern middle guy.
The Felemental?
Yeah, the Felemental.
Cool.
The first attack is going to be a 32 to hit, and the second attack is going to be a 29 to hit. That's going to be 27 points of force damage.
Ooh.
And then you see the SIDS are kind of all intertwined within the branches that are all around me, and I start to kind of blend in with my rough terrain and take the... If I hit successfully on a turn, I can use my ranger feature to go into partial cover. So I'm taking partial cover.
You now have an aura of 15 feet around you permanently. So everything in that radius around your token is going to be in difficult terrain. We're going to go ahead and stay on initiative 15 as you hear a loud boom from the darkness. Armos, roll me a d6.
I just want to say, I am invisible,
Sure are.
and he's shooting out of darkness.
Sure is.
6.
6. You hear the sounds of thunder whirling. A barrel rotating, and then I'm gonna need Drell and Minnis to make me a dexterity saving throw of a DC 20 as a thunder cannon fires from the darkness in that direction, and everything in that direction needs to make a dexterity saving throw. You see the caged cart get knocked onto its side from the sheer force of the lightning and thunder beam knocking it over. Screams from the prisoners as they are now tumbling over each other, as they are now falling onto the blood-soaked earth.
Natural 20 for Minnis.
You pass. Drell?
Remember, you roll with advantage.
Roll with advantage.
I already roll with advantage on dex saving throws. That's a 13.
Hey.
I'm in danger.
All right, Minnis, you're gonna take half of this.
Nice.
So Drell, you're gonna take 26 points of bludgeoning damage, and also you're gonna take 12 points of lightning damage.
Thunder.
Yes, thunder
Yeah.
damage.
Thank you.
And we're gonna go to initiative 13 as you hear something moving within the darkness. The siege engine moves in a direction unknown to you because it's darkness. Not even Armos can see through it, because that's what Man in Darkness does.
Well, Armos can see through it.
I have devil sight.
Yeah, so Armos can see through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also have devil sight, so I should also be able to.
Yeah, I gave it to him when I gave him foresight. It was
I
actually
also-
devil sight. You maybe misheard a little bit.
I ate the devil fruit called.
You see it crushes over the dead cultist, and it touches two of the frogs as they become huge and hop. And then we're gonna go to initiative 13, Armos.
Guys, I was gonna help with these I don't know, elemental guys, but I got a bigger problem, and I keep maddening darkness the way it is, and I'm then going to focus my energy with my other hand and take out a gun of my own as I cock my finger back and aim it and shoot at the tank and do a pachow with my own voice.
What level is the Pachow spell?
It is a 7th level Finger of Death.
You're gonna go ahead and cast Finger of Death.
Constitution saving throw of a DC 19.
Okay. Cute. Yep, I can do that.
He's like, "Huh, you think my bad guys take DC saving throws?"
Right before I do it, Sly's actually in the trajectory. I'm like, hey, duck.
He rolled a 25. As Sly goes, whoa, as this green necrotic ray, Finger of Death, shoots towards the siege engine, as the siege engine rolled a 25 on a Constitution save.
All right, it takes half of 64 damage.
You see the beam goes into the green flame, taking half of 4, which is 32 points of necrotic damage.
As it hits the siege engine, all of a sudden it disappears from existence as I hurl it through hell.
I forgot. Yeah, I gotta go.
Pachow!
Is Tony's face like
You see the siege engine, and as you shoot with the Finger of Death and hurl it through hell, you see that the green fire within the massive brazier on top of this tank goes out. The tank remains.
Oh.
And you see the cannon drops to the floor as the giant, massive flame is now gone.
right? Okay.
I'm gonna stay where I am. I'm gonna keep concentrating. I let the guys know, hey, I'm dealing with it for now, but get ready on this next turn.
You couldn't have done that before, Armos. After it hit me.
What? Oh, here. I'd throw you a health potion, but my hands are full. Sorry. Next turn.
His hands are full.
You know what?
Drell.
Get me next time. I'll get you next time.
Next time we should hurl him through hell, see how he likes it.
Sly, show us what you got.
You see Sly looks up at you as the foliage moves around his feet, and he gives you a 2-finger salute. As we go to initiative 10, which is Sly, and he goes out and he reaches deep within his Shadow Smuggler cloak and takes out a longbow. However, this longbow looks very intricate. It looks like two branches intertwined with each other with a mithril like string, and you see that he takes out a number of arrows. He's going to make some attacks against the cultists. You see he pulls out 4 arrows and knocks all 4 of them. Really cool, really badass. And go as you see, you see the tension with the bow. The bow is equipped to shoot multiple arrows at the same time.
That's cool.
You see how it's structured. And he's gonna go ahead and make a series of attacks here. With a 37, 28, misses with one of them for a 17, and a 30 to hit. Let's go. 3 arrows land into these cultists for a total of You see 2 cultists go down as 2 of the arrows lands right in the head, dealing 22 damage to one, 19 damage to the other, and then the other one takes a nasty shot to the chest, effectively killing 2 of these cultists and badly wounding one. And then he's going to head towards the east, towards the wall, to try to get a better advantageous location, so he's not grouped together with you guys. And then on initiative 10 is going to be the cultist. The one that's just been shot with the arrow is going to go ahead and try to advance towards you. He's going to make a dash action and run towards Minnis, getting into his rough terrain, not quite making it over. The other 3 cultists that are healthy are going to go ahead and run and try to get into range as well. You hear movement above you as you hear a horn go off from one of the watchtowers above you on the plateau, and there is movement happening as if people are coming by to aid in fight. And then we're going to move to initiative 20, air action. You hear rumbles from the floor, almost like an earthquake is tremoring under your feet. And then you hear a roar in the distance from the far side of the city, this demonic growl, and it gets higher pitched, and then your ears deafen as a shriek from a massive demon on the other side of the city begins to roar, and it is not stopping. All 3 of you are now deafened as this massive demon is roaring from the other side of the city. So everybody's going to take the deafened condition.
Deafened creatures can't hear and automatically fail any ability checks that require hearing.
Thank you, Armos. So you are deafened. There's a combination of things of why you're deafened. 1, your ears are ringing. 2, it's so loud it just drowns out all other sound around you. We're gonna go to initiative 18, which is Drell.
All right.
Drell, as you hear this high shriek of a beast coming from the western side of the city, and it's yelling so loud that the ground is trembling beneath your feet, what are you doing?
He's going to look around. He's going to see his friends. He's going to see, in the hysteria of what's going on with the noises and stuff, he's going to see the whole battlefield, see the car tipped over, the ray of darkness. And as he switches to his dad's axe, his Brax's axe, he's going to go into a rage as he looks down at it. And he's going to go forward to the group just dead ahead of him, the green soldier and the 2 what are the other ones? The green soldier and what are the 2 other monsters?
There's the cultist and the Felementals.
The cultist, that's what I was looking at. Yeah, so he's gonna charge just dead forward to the I'm just calling them green soldiers, and then the 1 green soldier and the 2 cultists, and he's gonna attack directly ahead of him at the green soldier first.
Drell, as you go into this rage, which is the first time you've gone to the rage since getting your father's axe, you feel this immense anger swell up within you. However, rather than being blindly mad as you have been, like with pure hatred to just take down your target without any remorse, this rage feels different. Although you are just as angry as you were before, you feel controlled over it. And you feel like it's more of a resolve type rage and determined rather than a blind rage. You feel like you have more control over yourself than you previously did. You also notice some black blood drips from the side of your mouth when you go into this rage, but you do not cough it up or spew it out.
I take some of it and I smear it across my forehead.
Gross. Roll a hit.
21 to hit.
You're attacking the Felemental?
Yeah, 17 to hit.
That misses. Sorry.
Remember, you got advantage.
Got advantage. Thank you, Jared.
You have advantage. You can see into the future for only about a second, though.
Oh my god. Okay, so my first attack hits, and I literally rolled a 15, a 12, and another 17. So I will use a luck point on my 3rd attack to try to just at least try to hit something. I literally have plus 12. I'm rolling so terribly right now. Oh my god, an 18, does that hit?
18 hits.
Okay, thank god. So that's 2 of them. Okay, so my first 2 attacks are going to be 47 damage, and then I am going to action surge and attack 3 more times.
So since you're using the action surge here, 1 landed attack would kill this thing, and you can go ahead and cleave the rest of that damage if you like.
Okay, so that's a 25 to hit on the first attack. It's a 27 to hit on the second attack, and that's a 22 to hit on the last attack.
It's the cultist.
The first one is 26 damage.
Okay. 15 hits over to the cultist on your right as you cleave through the Felemental as its iron helmet falls to the floor as your axe cleaves.
15 damage on the second attack.
That cultist is dead on your right. The one you cleaved into, coming over from the Felemental, you cleave your axe into that cultist and he drops to the floor.
Okay, I made up for it on that one. That's 30 damage on the third attack.
That last cultist around you, so the Felemental in front of you, the cultist on your right, and the cultist on your left drop with that last attack, dealing 30 fatal damage to the cultist.
Nice.
Drops to the floor, blood spews everywhere.
And since I already went into a rage as my bonus action, that is going to be my turn.
Very cool. You've killed 3 enemies in a single turn. Staying on initiative 18 are the Felementals, and they're going to go ahead and move in. One of them is going to go towards Minnis in his nature guardian of nature form, and he's going to attack with its sword. As you see, it does struggle within your roots, but still manages to make its way to you. 15 is going to miss on the first attack, and a 28 will hit on the second attack. That's going to deal 24 points of slashing damage. Comes down with his great sword. The other 2 Felementals are going to press on to Drell and advance forward. They're going to make 2 attacks with their great swords. Has disadvantage on that. Ooh, on the first attack. A 19 is going to miss. The second attack is going to miss with a 13. The second Felemental is going to attack with 2 attacks as well. 17 misses and a 21 misses.
I will then riposte one of those missed attacks on the last one to attack.
Yeah, the one to your southeast that ran up to you with the greatsword is going to be posted.
Nat 20.
It's
43 additional damage to that.
Whoa!
my goodness.
43 damage. It's going to make a reaction against your reaction. It's going to Hellish Rebuke.
Ooh.
Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw with DC 15.
And then I'm going to reaction his reaction of my reaction and then ask Reginald to Hellish Rebuke back to him. No. Second luck point of the day.
You get advantage.
No, you don't. I don't think like double advantage works like that.
Indomitable.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. No, you're right. Indomitable. Why am I using a luck point? I got 2 of those things. Fuck. Okay. 30-20. Fuck.
All right, you're going to take 6 points of fire damage as this green hellish flame erupts from inside his armor.
Dan knows my character better than I do.
We're going to move to initiative 15, which is Minnis and the siege engine.
Now you see me. Now you don't. Nature's Veil, bonus action. I go invisible.
Question, does the rough terrain still follow you?
Yeah.
So, okay. So
They're going to have disadvantage against their attack roll against me, and I'm just going to go away from them 35 feet.
Okay, you go ahead and move 35 feet as this giant tree disappears. However, the foliage to ground moves with you.
Yeah. So they can both make reaction attacks against me with disadvantage if they like.
Yes, they will do that. Cultist Love attacks of opportunity. Oh, with a 24 to hit on the first one and a 11 to miss, dealing 16 points of slashing damage with its Chris-like sword. Very squiggly, very long, very sharp, soaked in blood.
And then I am going to, I suppose I'll keep attacking the Felemental that I just ran past. So I'm going to throw some sling bullets, and that's going to be a 30 to hit and a 19.
Both hit.
12 points of force damage, 15 points of force damage,
Very nice.
and the SIDS will do an extra 6 points of force damage.
All right, you go ahead and you advance. You go towards the caged cart that is tipped over where the siege engine is. It's at the end of your turn.
Yeah, nothing else I can do.
Staying on initiative 15 is the siege engine as the flame, as the brazier on top of the siege engine erupts into this hellish green flame as a vortex of hell is briefly shown and closes up.
It doesn't come back until the end of my next turn.
Scratch that. You see, so
The
Minnis
gates of hell open right back up and he gets sucked back in.
Right back in.
Minnis, as you end your turn, you look over at the siege engine with its flame extinguished, but you get the feeling that it's going to return soon. But as you continue to look, you see these 3 tiny frogs hopping around, and you see that one of the frogs in the darkness had gotten larger. It looks like they were bumping into each other in there, and you see like 2 of them hop out, and their eyes are all hypnotic from the darkness. Almost, you can see within the darkness that there's a number of them that have gotten bigger.
I don't like this.
Forever growing.
Oh God.
It seems. Blip, 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 blip.
I'm glad this isn't my mess to clean up.
Boom. Boom. As you think they were thud, but you're definitely can't hear anything. Initiative 13, Armos.
Okay, I thought about this long and hard. So I'm going to cast another ability from my Staff of Power. I was hoping to be closer to the siege engine because I had some funny things that I could do, but I'll just have to do the serious thing. Boring. I'm going to cast Wall of Force, which I can cast at 120 feet away, which I'm well within the range. An invisible wall of force springs into existence at a point you choose. The wall appears in any orientation you choose, either horizontal or vertical. It can be free floating, which I'm going to do, or it can be resting on a solid surface. You can form it into a hemispherical dome or a sphere radius up to 10 feet. Or I can do 10 foot by 10 foot panels, which is the one I'm going to do. And I'm going to surround the tank. So the tank can't move anymore and is surrounded by these, and I'm going to do it enough to where the gun is kind of walled off.
So you're making like a hexagonal, I don't know how many sides what's a 10-sided?
It's like a stop sign.
Mine's a septagon, but it could be whatever you want.
You create the septagon with your wall of force. Welcome to Dungeons and Geometry, fellas. We're learning all the shapes today. Barrels, spheres, and septagons.
Decepticons. I'm sorry.
Great that we're fighting a tank and talking about Decepticons right now.
It's a decagon. How could I forget that? It's a decagon. Okay, you made a decagon. So you make a decagon with your wall of force, essentially locking it into place, but there is a way on one of the sides that is not covered. However, it is too big to simply go through it.
It's gonna have to do some awesome powers.
It's gonna have to transform.
Okay. What else are you doing as you now concentrate on this decagon wall of force, soft locking this siege engine in place?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be my end of my turn.
The gates of hell open as a giant green flame erupts and it lights the brazier on top of the siege engine, where it is now returned to its iron foil. Moving to initiative 10, which is Sly, holding his bow in place, is going to move, I think a dash action, is going to move 60 feet towards Drell and try to get to the second prisoner cart to aid in the endeavor. I don't know why I'm tripping over my words.
To open it.
Yeah, Sly's, thank you. Moving to initiative 10, Sly is going to make a dash action to go towards the second prisoner cart that is not toppled over, which is towards Drell, and going to attempt to try to open it. He's just a little bit of ways away from the cart, but that's what he's going to do on his next turn. There are still cultists up, so the cultists are going to react. The 2 cultists are going to move in on Drell, making a series of attacks. I hate rolling all these dice. Fuck foresight. Yeah, man, I cussed again. Take it out.
Nope. And nope.
Dang, nabbit. The first attack misses on the first cultist. The second attack misses on the second cultist. The third attack misses on the second cultist. Misses all around. Misses all around from the cultist. From up on the plateau, you hear some more movement as cultists begin to climb into the tower. You hear the knocking of bows as you see a rain of arrows come down towards you, Drell.
Uh-oh.
4 arrows come down towards you, all missing.
Nice.
4 arrows come towards Minnis. One of them hits. Wow. Wait, look at that. 1 arrow hits you, Minnis, with disadvantage as they use the foliage that is wrapped around your feet as a guidance, and you're going to take 14 points of fire damage as these arrows were lit with a green flame from the tower up on the plateau.
I'll use a reaction spell. Why not?
Okay.
Here's a first level absorb elements.
Absorb the elements. How much damage are you absorbing?
half of it.
Okay, cool.
One thing to clean up real quick. When he came back from hell, he took 42 points of damage.
Going back to the top of round, initiative 20, the deafening, horrifying scream for the demon on the other side of the city finally subsides. You notice something, that as the demon has finished screaming, you look over and the living tentacle has now rose itself back up.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No thanks.
Guys.
Not it. I'm invisible.
I'm not.
I'm out of here. I'm the farthest away.
You've noticed that during that last round, that during the scream, those tentacles the living towers were not active. They seemed to be coiled within themselves as that demonic scream was going off. On initiative 20, as you are moving, Drell, you have 2 cultists on you.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of big purple frogs walking around. Just before a horn was blown. And then something peculiar happens. A visage of double-sided doors arched. The make of the door looks ethereal, but it is of this red energy. The design of the door itself looks gothic in architecture. Armos, you immediately notice that this is a form of dimension door. As you see, the door opens.
Hey, I just casted that.
And the cultists that were around Drell instantly turned their attention. And coming through from the bright red light, blocking what's beyond the door, so you can't see in, is another one of these cultist members that are wearing similar robes, except those robes look much more decorative. It is a completely black robe that is not shredded, but it looks very elegant and has these religious style markings lined with like red velvet material. Its hood is particularly like crooked, almost like a wizard's hat. Its hood stretches far over, casting a deep shadow. And you see that as this cultist member comes through, the cultists that you are fighting instantly turn and take a knee towards this person. And you see revealed from underneath the sleeves are old, decrepit hands that slowly draw back the hood. You see this old man with skin blots all over his face.
Oh my god.
His nose is shifted along like it's been broken many times. His hair is falling out, but he is not fully bald, but he is balding terribly. You can see the liver spots all over his head. Looks like an extremely old man. The iris in his eyes are completely whited over. You think he may be blind. You have seen this person before. This is Viral. As he cackles, as he lowers his hood, and you see that on the shoulder, materializing as if wings are unfolding from nothing, making him appear in place, is this demonic frog with goat-like horns coming out of both sides of its head. Almost, you know this to be Ritzgulak.
This motherfucker!
Just smaller. Just a bit smaller than you've seen him last. And Viral begins to laugh. And claps. And the clapping echoes, although it's mismatched within his hands. It seems that he can't even get the alignment correct. And then he begins to cough like
In the city, you never cease to amaze me. For months, I've been hunting you through your homes, through your wastelands. It's so amusing that you've just come to my home to die. Even in my finest book or in my fondest memory, I couldn't be more blessed than I am in this moment. Oh, I'm going to revel in this. I'm going to mount your heads. Almost as he looks through just on the other side of the plateau where you are invisible, and he stares into you. You feel like he's looking through the windows of your soul directly at you. He goes, I am going to remove your horns and make them into a nice helmet to charge into battle with my horde of demons and armored servants. As I finish the job on your wasteland, as a crystal blesses me in his red
holiness. Takes a sniff. You can smell the iron everywhere. You can smell the iron in the blood, in your sweat, in your fear. You see yourself, heroes! You are nothing more than fools! And you see that he staggers. You do not know the forces that you are trifling with here, but you will learn. I've been watching from afar, and he gestures with his hands to the menacing dark tower in the distance. The Viral's Tower, as the Shadow Smugglers called it before, where there are living towers protecting the only path to it. I've been watching you since the cannon launched its first shot. You think you have a grasp on the situation, but you don't. False hope, false courage is all you have. He begins to drool from his monologue.
That's got to be about 10 rounds of combat, so I'm going to take 20 attack rolls.
Down. This is round 20, but I will allow someone to respond.
Oh, that's Armos.
The one thing I held onto into the dark world was the light that anchored me when all else turned to shadows. You used her, manipulated my desperation, knowing that I would give anything to keep her safe. And in that moment, blinded by my need to protect her, you struck and tore her away from me. You thought you broke me. You thought that I would crumble, but you underestimated me. Every step since then, every alliance I've forged, every ounce of power I've gathered for this moment. To find you, to end you. You didn't just take her away from me, you unleashed something that no demon, no god could ever contain. I'm not here for petty vengeance. No, I'm here to bring an end to your existence, tear you apart from the world you built, and burn it. I am beyond your tricks, beyond your pitiful schemes. I am the darkness that devours, the shadow that brings even the strongest to their knees. I will unmake you, Ritzgulak. Start by ripping your existence from this world, tearing your name from the memory of every realm. Cast it into the void so deep that even the foulest demons will tremble to follow. Every creature that serves you, every fiend that dares whisper your name will be reduced to charred remains. As you lie shattered in the ashes of everything you once command, you will know the depths of my wrath when your world crumbles beneath my power.
Damn.
Viral makes this wide-eyed face and his lips almost pucker in amusement, and then look towards Ritzgulak on his shoulder. He goes, "You made him so mad! The madness that makes his blood boil. What did you do to make him so worked up?" And you see the frog looks over, and they both speak at the same exact time as if they are one.
I did what no other pitiful demon could do.
Looks at Reginald.
I took away the only thing he could ever care about. His whole adventure. His purpose has been nothing more than revenge for what was nothing more than another day for me. What I did to him was something I do on a regular basis. Trivial, just like him. Just another power-hungry, wannabe demon.
And then Viral steps out of it. His bloodshot red eyes become white again. He goes, "Oh." So all those years ago, you told me to keep this safe. This particular shard should go unused for a moment to break him. But I so desired one of your gifts. And you see his hand raises up with his palm, with the back of his hand to the sky, and then flicks it to where his palm is then revealed, and a red purplish flame appears in his hand as it slowly turns into something physical, a blood shard. Is this the thing he cares about most? His eyes turn bloodshot red again as the Ritzgulak speaks through Viral as the frog form and Viral speak at the exact same time.
Layla.
And that is where we're going to end this week's session.
Damn. It's a spicy one.
I can feel Jared's blood boiling.
He's like, "Don't you end this right now, Tony."
I know. So mad. I need some time to cool off anyways.
Oh, that's an awesome end to an episode.
Oh yeah.
We got a lot coming up. Ooh-wee.
Ooh.
Spicy.
You know how long he's been waiting for this?
You know how long I've waited for this.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I'm kind of mad that I wasted so many spell slots now that I think about it.
Oh, come on, man. It was bait from day one.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
You got a giant purple frog. We'll talk about it after the show. I don't want to get too excited. We got a lot to talk about here.
The
A big fight that's still
beans.
going on. And a special appearance.
Classic.
Oh, man. When the horns are sound, things be rolling.
Big wheels.
All right. Wow. Whew, I'm sweating. A little bit. Okay. Let's go ahead. All right. Does anybody got any closing notes before we do one recommendation and say thank you to our Patreon supporters?
So many. I'm just like want to save them for the after show. I'm just trying to think of like what not to spoil. I will. You know what? I'll spoil one little thing. Little thing. This is more like after show things, but like I just had to say this just because it was kind of funny. I was going to do something funny. I was going to run up to the tank and reduce its size, which I thought would be hilarious. Even if it didn't do much, it still would be funny that it's
Small
instead
tank.
of it being a tank, it's now like a
cart.
Tonka truck. But
That's
anyways,
This is a
that was,
Tonka truck that fucking hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Would have reduced some of the damage.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. What recommendations?
Alec, recommend something.
Oh, God. I don't know, man. What have I been watching recently? Fuck. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I got something.
All right.
I'm gonna recommend the show called The Silo. It's on Apple TV.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's got like 2 seasons on it so far. The second season is like currently airing weekly. It's towards the end of it. Big surprise. It's about people who live in a silo underground. It's kind of like Fallout if they never left the silo is kind of how I picture it. So the drama is like the world's bad outside. Like, don't go outside. And their whole thing is like, if someone says, you know, they call it cleaning because there's a camera that views outside and it means I want to go out. Like, so they go clean the camera and, you know, they're never seen again because they always see them die. And so it's about like the drama and like the stories of like the silo. It's pretty good. I actually really like it a lot. So yeah, go check that out. That's my rec.
Never heard of this. This looks cool.
It's on Apple.
Yeah, I was like, man, what do I want to watch? And we just stumbled across it, and then we were like, damn, this is actually really good. And then we just like caught up all of it already. So
I might give this a chance. I've been looking for a reason to get Apple TV. There's like some shows I want, but like
The end of the first season was pretty like, oh, you know what I mean? Like type of, it's got a really good, like, it's going to bring you into the second season.
you've seen it, Jared?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
I think I skipped one of the episodes, not inadvertently, but by mistake. But yeah. So there was like some like catching up I had to do. But
Okay. Yeah, no, it's really good. I like it.
Good deal.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody give your most virile Grimgar goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, Tony did a new voice.
salutations.
Salutations.
I gotta say, I didn't get a hint of New York in it. I'm blown away.
I actually
away.
let's start the do. Hello, everybody.
All right. So, well, great rag, great coupon. Now we move on to our Patreon supporters.
Hey everybody, what's poppin'? It's the biggest, it's the baddest, the strongest Minotaur you ever been blessed to see. It's Miranor, and I've decided to take a short rest from my workout to shout out this month's Patreon supporters. We're gonna start off with the Shadow Smokers. These badass Hefferfluffers have one hell of an amazing journey rolling with me as my new crew. And first up, we have Julius Kendrick, and this go-getter really took a bull by the horns by giving me a new way to train my already flawless combat techniques. He's able to summon hordes of bone bros to help me fight. Some of them even spit green fire, and some are even made of metal. The glowing tattoos on his body kind of freak me out. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You need to get those treated because when I stare at the tattoos, not only does it feel like I'm staring at the void of death, but I feel like I can hear children crying too, bro. You gotta get that checked out, Julius. Second is Dylan Snyder, and he's out of this world. Some would say he's from Mars. This Grong is leaps and bounds better than Minnis. Minnis only thinks he's cool because he can float, but Dylan is way cooler because he can hop way higher than Minnis can float. As a matter of fact, Dylan can hop over 100 Minnises, and you need a lot of Minnises for this example because she's so short. Next, we have a Laura Dawnstar, and this gal really packs a punch in her kicks. Are you fond of the sound barrier? I hope not, because she destroys whatever swift kick she got. They boom, they zoom. Laura drops her foes harder than Minnis dropping the ball in dodgeball during Grace class. And next we have Bro Benjamin Hayes. Let me tell you something about this bro, all right? Let me tell you something about Benjamin. He knows how to take a hit, but he always gets back up. It's a privilege watching him work out in the field. A true tank to our militia, our immovable Brock on the front line, a beacon of tenacity and fortitude. A dead save would hate to see Benjamin come. Alright, now let's move on and talk about these Bloodshard Bandit nerds. First up is Reigns, and much like the Rains Down in Africa by Toto, I can listen to this guy all day. Truly a knowledgeable nerd, despite being a horrific frog monster once. Minnis wrote me a letter about that could not have been fun. And next is Shade Greyfire, and despite having the most edgelord name that I've ever heard a bro have, he is at least way cooler than Minnis, and he has a wicked dice collection. And next up is Amanda Dulong, aka Morgan Uthiel, and I gotta say, I love the way you won that conversation against Armos. That guy couldn't talk himself out of a paper bag. Oh, but this next one, Sly, let me tell you about Sly. Sly is one slick bro and an excellent wingman. It's like whenever I need something, he has it. It's like he steals it or something. And last up is Artemis. And to be honest, I'm not a fan. You keep calling me a bully, and I kind of think that makes you a nerd. Oh, what, you want to go or something, bro? You want to go? You want to go? Yeah, I'll see you after these shoutouts are done. Sorry, I let my anger get the best of me there. It's not very classy of a bro to get mad. However, let's talk about my last Deadlifts and Dungeons game we had with the Century College alumni last week. Alright, so here's what happened, alright? Last session, Aiden, our fierce fighter, really dealt out some major damage. He was landing critical hits left and right. It kind of sucked though when he lost his lucky D20. Like when it hit the floor, it was like really loud, but we didn't know where it went. Now I'm thinking about it, it's kind of louder than your average dice, but you know, maybe he just lifts, maybe he's just cool like that. But David the Chance came in hella clutch though. Like he rolled 2 nat 20s on his portent roll on his divination wizard, so we had some extra nat 20s to go around for sure. But then Craig Dawnbringer, he was the underdog in the last session for sure. Like, the DM was kind of bullying me. It was totally uncool. I felt like I was being targeted. And Craig totally brought me back up to full HP with a little pre-workout and lay on hands. Patrick Wennerstrom and Saint Chaos decided to roll new character last session, and together they both played like this crazy 2-headed ogre, sorcerer, rogue, druid build. It was crazy. Patrick and Chaos really went all out in combat. I mean, it kind of seemed a little power gamey in my opinion, but you know, to each their own, I'm not gonna judge. I'm still stronger anyway. Oh, and Sergio Rodriguez. How can I forget our faithful, reliable healer? Sergio really kept the party alive. There was this one poison trap that we all got hit, but he was able to keep us up with his mass healing. The men's bathroom obnoxious gas was no match. It was crazy. All in all, it was a great Deadlifts and Dungeon session. Robert Crisp did a really good job running Drell's bodacious Undeadatorium module. It was awesome. It had everything. It had stinky men's bathrooms. It had large weights and giant monsters. But we totally steamrolled it. But Robert did a great job, despite targeting me constantly. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to Humbrea's heroes. I turned Tem 7, Native Nightmares, Jacob Matthew, and Drown. thanks for lifting with me last week. Your combined weight totally helped me hit a new PR. Grant Fairman, Tyler Brisby, Rip Corden, Toby Lodge, and Sean Carroll. You guys are hella chill. Thanks for letting me in the Hacky Sit circle. Will Miller, Tazlin, Johnny Tar, D&D Virgin 69, Odie Mel 1203, and Man with Glass, thanks for helping me land my first pirouette in dance class. You guys are your best. Now I can totally turn on a dime. And that's it for this month's shoutouts for the Patreon supporters. If you would like to know how to become a Patreon supporter, go ahead and click that Patreon link down below, or go ahead and search on your cool keyboard at patreon.com/DND404, and you can find all the information there. And until then, have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Minnis is a nerd!